Tales from the Pizza Guy, where the op always delivers. A small kid, 7 to 8 years old, answered the door. Usually when kids answer the door for pizza it sucks because their parents don't tell them to tip or how to tip on a receipt. Well, a little boy answered the door for a delivery I took the other day. He was really young. Like 7 or 8. Had on a bright red shirt with a dinosaur and everything. He proceeds to hand me an extra 5 and says, "Keep the change," and when I say thank you he waves it off. I hand him his pizzas and he inhales like he's smelling them and says, "This is going to be great after the day I had." TLDR. I think I delivered pizza to a second grader with a stressful job and a mortgage. We get a call saying been an hour and the pizza hasn't arrived. So I'm working as the pizza maker at a tiny independent pizza shop in New Orleans, and the delivery driver is a 6 feet 6 inches Lithuanian basketball player who's supposed to be on a basketball scholarship, but he has some troubles with the NCAA over a few exhibition games he may have gotten paid for, so he's delivering pizza in a clapped out ghetto sled instead of going to college. We sent him out on a run for 3 nearby deliveries, and after about 30 minutes of him being out, the customer from the third house called to complain that their pizza hasn't arrived yet. So I call the first house and they're like, "Pizza came just fine." I call the second house and they say their pizza just arrived. So I figure he's had car problems and I'll go find him. So I drive over to the second house and follow the logical route toward the third, and as I'm almost there I see this giant man running at a dead sprint down the middle of the road with the pizza bag held up over his shoulder like a waiter. I pulled up beside him and without stopping he yelled, "Must deliver pizza," turned the corner and ran up to the customer's house. When he got done I found out that his car had failed to start at the first house and he decided to run about 3 miles with several pizzas rather than screw around looking for a phone. Best delivery driver we ever had by far. I was given a kitten as a tip. I can't believe this story really happened, so if you don't either then I understand. Today I delivered to a Motel 6. In general, 4/5 people at Motel 6 don't tip. So I wasn't expecting much. The guy answers the door and I hand him his pizza. As he's signing the credit card slip, I notice his pet cat. I love animals, so I always get really extra and I say, your cat is so adorable." He opens the door a little wider and points to the corner where there was a full litter of about 10 to 15 kittens. He says, "Do you want one?" At this point I'm kind of shocked. I ask if he's being serious and he says yes and tells me to go grab one. I picked one up and he says, "That can be your tip," and hands me back the slip, which did indeed have a nice little 0. So now I'm the owner of a 4-week-old kitten named Tipsy. Edit, I would like to add on here because I've seen a few people worried about the well-being of the kitten. Yeah. It's super sketch that a guy is giving out kittens. I just hope the rest of them go to safe homes as well. We are confident that we can provide this kitten with a loving home. Though she is young. Both the vet and people at the pet store said she was fine to be away from her mama. Since this was also one of my concerns. So long as we are diligently feeding her and giving her lots of attention. Let's send the 19-year-old girl to the high crime area. What could go wrong? LTLFTP. On mobile. I delivered pizzas for a chain when I was 19. I didn't have a cell phone at the time, but this event spurred me to get one. I was a day driver mostly, and I was working for probably a couple months at the time. I get a delivery for a street that apparently has a lot of crime. One of my managers instructed me to only carry $15 in change, and to call 911 if I needed to. I reminded him that I didn't have a cell phone. He said that's okay, just scream 911. So now that I was nervous, I set out for my destination. I get out, lock my car, and deliver the pizza with no problem. Breathe a sigh of relief. Go to open my car and I locked my keys in my car. Some of the neighbors were out playing basketball in the street, and saw me. One of them lent me a cell to call the shop. The one manager that could help me had driven into work on his motorcycle, so he had to drive home, get his truck and tools. When he asked me where I was, his response was something like, "Crap, there of all places." So yeah, instilling more confidence in me/s. But in actuality the people on the street were very kind. Various conversations ensued. Like, how good is your insurance? We could just break a window. And hey man, couldn't you break into it for her? No man. It's been years since I've broken into cars. I didn't want to pay for damages to my car, because I did not know what the insurance on the car was. So they just kept me company for the couple hours it took for my manager to arrive with tools to open my car. Drove back to the shop to clock out for the day. Anytime I drove through that area after the incident, the locals waved at me. It's one of my favorite memories from that time. Edit. Thanks for the gold and silvers. I busted a kid making prank orders. I had a delivery for 2 20-inch pizzas and wings. The order was $55. I get to the house and the whole family was outside. The daughter stopped me and said they didn't order and have received numerous fake orders to their house the last few days. They were real nice and wanted to find out who it was, so I gave them the name and number on the ticket and went back to the store. I tried calling the number from a store phone but got no answer. I felt bad for the family and was a little pissed this kid wasted my time, so I called from my cell and the kid answered. I told him I'm from pizza place and he made a fake order and needed to pay. He said, "Oh shit," laughed and hung up on me. I was pissed and bored, so I tried googling his number to get a name or address but couldn't find anything. I decided to try and scare him. So I sent him a text saying if he doesn't call and pay, the cops will be at his house in a little bit. It worked. His sister called back crying and saying please don't send the police, her parents will pay when they get home from work and she will make sure her brother gets in trouble. Later that day his parents called and paid for the food, and I'm pretty sure that kid won't make any more prank orders after this. I also got free pizza and wings out of the whole thing.